Hello, everybody. Welcome to this bonus edition of Longbangers. I'm Matty, and I've got Brian with me tonight. Brian, how are you doing?
I'm not bad, Matthew. I've just actually finished watching a documentary on ships and how they keep them together. It was it's riveting.
Nice
I thought I'd get in there first before you landed your one on me.
Oh, you're lucky, because I was about to moan about how the missus had fallen out with me today, and I can't what it was. She said it was something about no listening to her, but I can't. Anyway, it was a stupid way to start a conversation. Anyway.
Oh, you could have done better than that one.
The river one trumped it, to be fair. You caught me off guard.
Onwards and upwards, I say.
I can't get very worse, can it? So, right, well, we're starting off with tonight. Just a wee thank you again to everybody for the feedback, for all the listens, and to everybody who's recommended us, particularly those that commented on, I think, Joel Sked's tweet asking for the best podcast per SPL team or Premiership team, and we've got a few mentions on that. So thanks to everybody on that. That's a nice bit of publicity for the podcast. You just said a podcast. Remember Pob when you were?
I remember Pob. I thought at least you never said broadcast.
I'm changing it all the time. A couple of clowns. That's what we got called today by Dander Hall Hibs.
I think that's a compliment. I don't know about you, but I was delighted.
Normally calls me. I was quite happy with that one. I put a wee post out on our Twitter earlier on as well, which is at Longbangers, asking for ideas for music intro and outro, because the podcast kind of lacks that at the moment. When I listen to some of the better ones out there, they've all got a wee bit of music. So Muzz offered to make us something, which is very kind of you, Muzz. We appreciate that. But if anybody's got any other ideas, or something that you think would be quirky or funny or particularly relevant to the podcast, and you can't have your shit and you know you are the football chant, because I don't think that's recorded anywhere. But any ideas, drop us a wee tweet. So this is just a bonus episode. We've not got much in the way of Hibs chat other than what folk have sent in. But we had loads of contributions. We had planned to get through them all on Tuesday night, but we talked for ages on the football, and then it kind of got too late to do it. So will we get cracking with this now, Brian?
Go for it. Let's go for it.
So the first thing then is we had a few celebrity encounters. So this goes back to when you met Tony Drago, which was a better than my Super Gran and Darth Vader. But Hibs Bola from off of Hibs.net, he says, enjoying the pod, just wanted to contribute to the famous people I've met theme. So he met Jack Charlton. Jack Charlton came to open a fish filleting school he was involved with.
Wow.
And he hated his brother Bobby with a passion. A fish filleting school.
What's that all about?
Well, fish filleting, I suppose, but
I guess it's a code name for a brothel.
Maybe we'd have to speak to Hibs again to pick the bones out of it.
You've tipped the scales back in your favour with the gags now.
So Jack Charlton said he hated his brother Bobby with a passion. Hibs also met Maggie Thatcher. It was when she was still alive. This was when he was about 7. His mum took him on a touristy trip to London. Ended up going to see Downing Street. This is before the days of the big barrier, when anyone could just rock up. He says, we were standing there opposite number 10, and unexpectedly she just strolled out with the pearls and big hairdo, fixed me with a beady eye, and walked over and said hello directly to me as the cameramen were clicking away. I was absolutely shiting myself, mostly because I was scared my mum would shout abuse at her and embarrass me. Anyone who knows my poster.net will know I'm not exactly the biggest fan of her politics. Well, what would you say about Thatcher back in the day?
Nah, she was a wee bit before my time. I don't think I minded her, but I was far too young to probably be angry at anybody back then. But I know she's not flavour of the month in most households. So
she was like the Antichrist in my house. This was on a par with Jambos, pretty much. When I was brought up, it was two things you didn't like in life: was Jambos and Tories. And Thatcher was probably the worst of the lot. So probably best not to get into politics on the podcast, because we'll switch off half the listeners.
Absolutely.
Graham also goes on to say, so Hibs Bala, that's Graham, goes on to say he's met Hibs players, but he's not sure we should be sharing this. Well, we're going to anyway. Boozy is the nicest man you're ever likely to meet, equal with Lewis, who they met on a train to Newcastle with the whole 2007 squad, just after a dull draw with Falkirk. They were going to the Christmas party. I was totally starstruck and joined Lewis, Kevin McCann, and Damon Gray's table. There's a star-studded lineup in it. Had a few beers, and when we got to Newcastle, Lewis asked me if I wanted to go drinking with them. It's the biggest regret of my life that I said no. I still fucking don't know why I did. I remember being conscious I wasn't dressed smart enough for a night out with a load of footballers, but this is the Hibs team Christmas night out we're talking about. What an arse, in his own words.
Arse. Yeah, that's a schoolboy error, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know how I would quite handle that situation going out in the peeve with the Hibs team. I'm sure to embarrass myself. I'm not a great drunk, if I'm totally honest.
No, you're not great sober either, to be fair, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Had that one coming.
I mean, the thing is, I'd love to do that, but I'm not even a celebrity, but I somehow think it would still be my face that would be on the front page of the papers the next day.
Aye, but you end up somehow also banned from Easter Road as well.
Aye, guaranteed.
But
you must be regretting that one, surely.
Aye, it's a sickener if you could turn back time,
You'd be sure.
You would have that wobbly voice. Share impression there.
It's better than your Tommy Wright one.
Just where we don't do this face to face. What you wouldn't have seen there was me shaking my throat to try and make the wobbly sound, and completely useless thing to do.
As long as it's just your throat you're shaking, would be fine.
Right, the next one we've got a celebrity encounter was from John Faulkner, who is Mr. Miyagi or at Kernick Chaos on Twitter.
Who I must say, just before you start there, is absolutely hilarious on Twitter.
He's got some cracking tweets.
I do like him.
Have you seen that? I'm sure it's him that tweets the alternative Hibs commentary, which is quite...
He does, yeah. Yep.
So he played fives with Stuart Lovell a few years ago because he was, for unexplained reasons, mates with a mate of mine. I never ever got to the root of that friendship, to be honest. Also watched the Real versus Atletico Champions League final with him a few years ago at a boozer in Edinburgh. So Archie, that's no bad celebrity to meet.
No, it's not bad at all.
I quite often see him up in the West.
I met him as well. The ship in Musselburgh. After a day out at Musselburgh races, never think about it.
Aye.
So if you're listening, Archie, nice to meet you, but you're not Tony Drago.
Yeah, you're not Tony Drago. Yeah. And speaking of alternative Hibs, we have got an email from alternative Hibs as well. I'm just seeing if there's a name on this other than alternative Hibs, but it doesn't look like it. It comes from
might just be his name. I bet you just had cruel parents.
Aye, that would be a cracking name to give your kids. I tell you what, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. There was right. I'm going to go ahead with this one, and if it. Nah, do you know what? I'm not going to, because I'm just thinking the ramifications of what I was about to. It was something, but they're at my work, and I'm just thinking it's a funny name. You can't really read it out because folk from my work listen to this. So, if anybody's really, really curious, you can DM me, and I will tell you.
So, if you're listening, Woodchip, Matthew, sorry.
Aye. My boss are Richie. If you're listening, Mr. Richie. Aye, I'm quite glad I stopped what I did there. My filter kicked in just in time. Anyway, alternative Hibs, who has got a funny name then. He says, on the 30th of December 2006, I turned up at Easter Road with my mate to watch Hibs against Dunfermline while enjoying the hospitality my then girlfriend had bought for me. Suited and booted, we headed up for the pre-match meal, drinks and the enhanced odds bets we found out we could place. I've never been involved in anything like that before or since, as I prefer to watch the games from where I've got my season ticket. My mate and I were sat with a couple of guys a little older than us. I had just turned 24, who we introduced ourselves to and made polite small talk with when an old couple arrived to take up the final two seats at the table. Hi, the man said to me, I'm Lawrence, and this is my wife Iris. I said, nice to meet you, Lawrence, nice to meet you, Iris, and shook their hands before the introductions continued. Maybe 10 or 15 minutes passed when I turned to my mate and quietly said to him, that's Laurie Riley, eh? In a way that alluded to the fact I'd just made a total dick of myself. He said, aye, and I knew you had absolutely no idea who he was. In my defence, for all the books and stories and legends of Laurie Riley and the famous five that I'd read or been told about, I can't recall him ever being referred to as Lawrence. That, in addition to the fact I'm still a starstruck wee laddie on the rare occasion I'm in a Hibs player's company, former or otherwise, well, all added up to me being ignorant of the company I was in that afternoon. For the first quarter of an hour anyway. I've never lived it down. Did you ever meet Laurie Riley?
No, nope, never met Laurie Riley. No, you?
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting him at I think it was a sponsors evening before the 2012 Cup final.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, I might be playing tricks, but I'm pretty sure it was. And Josh went up and got his autograph and everything. So we have that tucked away in a wee autograph book, and he was an absolute gentleman, as you might expect.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, right. So going back to, I think that was the end of our celebrity encounters. In fact, no, I've got one more from Bedlam Lascar.
Oh, this has to be good.
He said that he met Tom Kitchen one time. He was playing football on the beach. Saw Tom Kitchen, who kicked the ball back to him and kind of kicked it back perfectly as well.
So he never made a meal of it?
No, no. I tell you what, see, it's not like an easy thing to do. You think kicking a ball back is quite straightforward. I used to live in Stevenson Drive, so just at Stenhouse Cross.
Mm-hmm.
And not long after Josh was born, me and Jane were taking him a little walk in his buggy down to Saughton Park. And as we're going along, there's some boys playing a football. The ball came over in our direction. I thought, happy days, I can kind of coolly kick this back to them. And look quite decent for the missus. You know, as you do, you want to impress with one of these things.
Of course, yes.
I had a pair of Timberland boots on. I don't know if those are still a thing. Booted the ball. It went sideways instead of straight on, and then nearly smashed a car window. And all the boys pissed themselves laughing. Jane pissed herself laughing, and she still brings it up now. So it was an epic fail.
Wow.
And I'm sorry whoever's car it was as well.
Oh, that's not a good one. No. Mind you, you can blame the boots. Timberland boots were never cut out for a 40-yard crossfield ball, were they?
Thank you. This is what I've been trying to explain as well. They're big and clunky and round, and the boots were worse. So
I knew that was coming. I knew it was coming.
Yeah. Right. The next time we've got a couple of desert island pricks. One, it was Colonel Chaos again. Kernick Chaos. I don't want to call him Colonel Chaos. Colonel Chaos would be a better name than Kernick Chaos. This is after we've had abuse from mispronouncing Carheen Lee, which I got first time there just to prove we're not a couple of clowns.
Which I'm kind of guilty by association. I never even tried to pronounce it.
You didn't try to pronounce it, but you didn't correct me either. So
no, that's true. I was complicit then. Fair enough. I'll take it on the chin. I am a clown.
Going to have to live with that one.
Yep.
Right. He said the three football people he doesn't want to be stuck on a desert island with. Absolutely any former footballer turned pundit. Can't stand the obtuse, argumentative wanker shtick that they all affect on TV. So I'm taking by that it means Chris Sutton or Mikey Stewart.
I'm going for Davy Provan.
Davy Proven's the worst, actually. Yeah, him or Andy Walker.
Oh, Christ, Andy Walker. Yeah, right enough.
Actually, when you think of Andy Walker and Davy Provan, Sutton and Mikey Stewart are positively excellent pundits.
Saddam Hussein would be a good pundit compared to they two.
He cares a lot about football. I say he does it now, but he used to know a lot about football. Was he no rumoured to be a Hibs fan at one point?
Saddam?
I'm sure that was that was a chat at one point. I have a vague recollection. Maybe somebody can put us right on that. I don't know if he was. I never saw him at Easter Road, so that might put it to bed.
Well, keep our eyes open. Well, we can't anymore. He's 6 feet under, but he might have been in the. He might have been the Hibs kids when he was younger. I don't know, possibly.
With a wee wall chart on his wall.
A moustache at age 7.
Right, the second one for that he had for his desert island pricks was Andy Rhodes. Smug prick he just has there. That's quite a good matter of fact explanation of why you wouldn't want him there. Smug prick.
Has to be like a personal vendetta. That must be a neighbour or something that's. Andy Rhodes, as in he was he not a keeper for Dunfermline?
Played in
Andy
the
Rhodes?
Skull Cup final that we won. He was a
Aye.
goalkeeper.
Andy Rhodes was. I didn't think he was that offensive, to be honest, Andy Rhodes. But well.
He had arthritis, if I remember right.
Andy Rhodes?
Aye. Had arthritis, played with arthritis. There's no joke there.
I was waiting for one part.
No, it's just a bit of trivia. It might not even be true, but I have a very vivid recollection of that.
The listeners might have thought that was a joke because it was met with the same silence that I normally give you jokes.
Either a joke or you're about to pass opinion on it. The next one or the last one I had was Neil Poynton. He said, an irrational hatred I've no basis for other than he played for them and typified them more than anyone else I can think of. It's quite a good point.
Aye. Stefan Maye, there's another one. He just looked like a Hearts player.
Is he the one that died recently?
Oh God, I hope not.
No. I don't know.
No, you're thinking of Stefan Adam, aren't you?
Was it him?
Adam that died. Aye. I think Stefan Maye's probably still roaming the streets with that shite hawk haircut that he had.
Shite hawk.
Don't remember. I would think he just woke up like a Saturday morning. I thought, I'm going to try and do my own hair today. I think I can manage this.
Aye.
And then he's got halfway through and I thought, oh, fuck, what have I done?
We've all been there.
Oh, aye. Well, to be fair, I get my barber today. I still stupidly go to the Turkish barbers, and every time I go there, I get the guy that's sweeping the floor. They've got a big sort of glass front on the shop, and I have never seen him cut anybody else's hair. Yet as soon as I go in, the broom gets dropped, and it's you take a seat every time.
Yeah,
and I keep going back.
And does he have more than one haircut? I went to the Turkish barbers at ours. Which is right next to a shop, and this isn't a joke, a fish and tackle shop called Master Bates in Dunfermline. Without a word of lie, it sounds like the kind of thing you would make up, but it's 2 doors down for the barbers. But the boy only Ken's wanting a haircut. It doesn't matter what you ask for, you get the same haircut, which is like an abomination on your head. He just shaves everything as short as it can possibly go.
And that's pretty much what I get for well, it's not just the one haircut he's got. It's just, it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter what I say to him, what I want. I think just translated to Turkish, it means fuck my wife up. And then he just spends the next 10 minutes trying his best to reduce me to tears. And at the end of it, I give him a tip.
You have to.
Aye.
Well, the last time I went in, I say the last time before last I went in, I thought I'm going to get a shave, get the works done.
Yep.
And so there's one boy waiting before me. He gets seen, then he goes, and there's nobody else in the shop. It's Saturday morning, so I said to the guy, the haircut and the shave, and he says, and he kind of hummed and hawed, and he said, if I do the shave, I get too busy. And I said, well, don't worry about it. So he must have felt guilty because he cut my hair and nobody was in, and he just went ahead and started doing the shave. But as soon as he started, the place filled up. So you could see he was absolutely fizzed. And he's got a razor blade. And I was sitting back in my chair just feeling absolutely terrible. Folk are sitting looking at their watches, and this poor guy who's on his own in the shop all the time is thinking, I'm going to have folk walking out here. I'm going to lose money. He was raging by then. I had to give him a good tip. I was like, there you go, mate. I'm sorry.
What's the worst part is when I go, I'm obviously sat there in the chair, staring ahead, watching this boy go to town on me. And then at the end, it's like he gets the mirror and then he shows you the back and the sides as if to say, look, I've made an ass of this as well. I've put a right number on you, by the way.
Check this out. How is it? You're fine? Fine.
Aye, through the tears. That's fine, thanks. It's just what I wanted.
What the fuck is this? This is ridiculous. That's not what I wanted.
No, you just grimly accept it, and then just like you say, I'll see you in 4 weeks' time. Let's do it again.
No bother. Right, next thing we've got is I'm actually going to do a quick shout out to the Since 1875 guys. They on their Twitter and on Hibs.net and the Bounce are doing an appeal for raising funds for a display for the Derby. So it's a great cause. You'll have seen some of their displays before, I'm sure. The Natural Order one is the one that stands out.
Oh, absolutely, with Whittle, Mr. Medals himself underneath it.
It's one of my favourite ever Hibs pictures, that one.
It's brilliant.
There with his anorak, looking like he's taking note of which trains just come into the station.
Yeah, I would sneak that into my wedding album if I could. That was that's a topper, that one.
So anyway, yeah, if you can contribute to that, the Since 1875 guys are collecting. That's a really good cause. Right, so Laurie Riley, as we were talking about him earlier, his medals were up for auction in the Hibs Historical Trust, who I should also apologise to because we ended up inadvertently spamming their Twitter for the whole of a morning last week.
We did.
I didn't mean it. I didn't think of the consequences when I sent the original tweet, and everybody replied and tagged them in. And to be fair, they came back and had a nice wee response later on to say that they would try and collect everything that we were that we were suggesting. But they won the auction to get Laurie Riley's medals, which are now fantastically going to be in with the club for people to come and view. And we asked everybody for suggestions on what else they could have got from the world of football that had some kind of Hibs connections. And by goodness, did we not get some really good responses. So if you don't mind, I'll start. We'll kind of go through them, and I'll try and get the names as right as I printed them all off. And I'm just looking at it, and some of the printing is not the best. So Muzz, I think, had the first one, which was the shite from Stephen McLean's pants when he ran away from Lewis after he thought he was being a hard man. Lewis Cumming had the bar from the final. We probably need both pieces of that bar.
Yep.
Hibernian Javonian, he said the NASA satellite that was taken out by Brian Graham's penalty. Trishy Pop said Ron Gordon's cash line card. So that's good for a little bit of theft there as well, but identity theft and money laundering, etc.
Straight to the buck and hair.
We've got Ivan Sproul's motorbike that Alan O'Brien was just as fast as. Joe T's jumbo sausage, that was for 150k on Hanlon Hill, who also said any evidence that Alan O'Brien had any heart. He said the correct Shawumney brother. So that was a funny thing. Back in the day.
It was. That was just something that just grew arms and legs of brothers and sisters, basically. that was outrageous. It still goes on to this day as well.
Aye. And I didn't even think they're related, are they?
No, just madness.
150k on Hanlon Hill. He's another one. The earthy and pungent fog of jazz fags in the Old East. He says, "Fuck, the football match day experience is sterile these days." I mean, you definitely don't get the smell of hash getting smoked quite like you did back in the day in the East. It was one of the most familiar smells you got in there under the gantry.
Yep. And then you would go up the top to the toilets where you were literally just pissing against the wall, and it was, I mean, that was, oh wow.
Which is funny you mentioned that because the next
Gary Locke's wet dream, basically.
Really wet dream. The next one that he's put in at 150k on Hanlon Hill is he's got the reek of stale piss from the old brick lavies while waiting in the pie bookies queue at the back of the Old East. And the mad thing is, folk used to climb the wall there to get in.
Yep.
Super Bam has said, Ollie the goalie, Stephen gloves for light fingers on heavy hands. He did get done for the old Chorin, didn't he?
He did, aye. I wonder how many TVs he dropped.
Aye. That'd be just follow the trail. The trail of destruction he'll have handed himself in, pretty much. Like, we did it. Oh no, hang about. Yep. We know.
How did you find me?
How did you find me? Take a guess. It's a good job he wasn't the policeman, because then the charges would get dropped and all.
Oh, Badoom Tish.
I'm here all week. Hi be till I die. He has got Terry Butcher, so we can all visit and kick his fucking face in.
Wow, that would be a museum worth visiting.
when he's interactive. It's not like the Chamber Street Museum. We just went up and pressed a wee red button to make a train work.
He did wearing a fucking bandage on his head then after we finished with
We'll go up and waterboarding
him. Stand down, Gary Walk. That's not what we're meaning.
Mr. Miyagi, he's got a few here. A bottle of Ryan McGivern's hair dye, Yannick Bernardi's outstanding balance at Ladbrokes, and a list of graduates from the John Hughes Goalkeeping School of Excellence. That was a weird thing. I mind to say that I want to create a goalkeeping school by signing about 60 goalkeepers, and then forgetting that one of them was as shite as Graham Smith. So, what was the point?
It was just, why not just go out and buy one quality one with a decent backup, rather than buying 17 sort of fair to middling goalkeepers? I think, was Graham Stack?
Aye.
Was he was there? He was one of the better ones. He was Raj made you.
Stack was a good keeper. I always liked him.
Aye, I liked Stacky.
Stack, Brown, and Graham Smith. So was it Mark Brown, Graham Smith? Graham Smith, he played the 6-6 game at Motherwell and got absolutely slaughtered after it.
Oh, he was wearing the oven gloves in that game, I think.
He saved a penalty and folks still accused them of chucking the game. Like they had a bet on it against us. That actually came up on Facebook the other day. It was the first time I'd seen all the goals against us, because normally that was one of these games where I just get sickened watching it because it went against us in the end. In fact, I remember the night it was on TV and I'd been working and I'd listened to the radio coming home, and Hibs had gone in front, got in the door, put the telly on, and Hibs, I can't remember what the scoring was, but maybe it went 4-2 or 4-1. And I shouted Josh down, so Josh would have been still wee. And he was in his bed, and I said, Josh, come down and watch the end of the football. So he came down, and pretty much for the minute he came down, Motherwell, and I got to the end, and I was, "Oh, you're a jinx," and he burst out greeting, and I was like, "No, I'm only joking. You're no real a jinx. You're not to blame for it."
And at the same time, John Hughes was laughing.
Aye, well, it was hilarious, eh?
Jeez, oh Christ, what a game that was. That was just, I think we were 6-2 up, if I remember.
I think you're probably right, and then they came back, and the boy that equalised the last goal of the game was an absolute perler as well.
Oh, Lucas Jukovic.
Yeah.
Left foot right onto the top bin.
Aye. Meh.
Shades of pedantic. Shades.
Aye, shades. Right, we've got Kieran Power. He's got a plaster cast of David Gray's forehead, so's his teeth, an abstract painting of John McGinn's arse. Now, I wonder what an abstract painting of his arse would look like. It's like one cheek right at one side of the painting and the other cheek at the other.
You'd need to be a sort of 3D painting as well to I mean,
full effect.
Oh, absolutely! What an arse!
He's also got the red card for the Soonest game, and Tam McCourt. Tam McCourt would have to end up in a museum for Hibs. Like they're going to have to preserve him.
Oh, aye, that's a proper taxidermy job. That'll just need to be stuffed and kept.
Have you ever seen the Twitter account Crap Taxidermy?
No.
Ah, right. So anyway, you I'm sure it is just crap taxidermy.
Fake taxidermy would be a decent one, actually. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Fake. The crap that is got like all like boss-eyed lions and everything in it. It's absolutely. You have to. Anybody's looking, go look it up. It's superb. Persevered on Twitter. He said, "Has anyone suggested a coconut?" So I thought it was quite a good shout. What was it? It was the derby, wasn't it? Where somebody launched a coconut on. It
was. Aye, that's right.
And that's speaking of missiles thrown into derby, the rugby ball chucked at Craig Gordon, and Benny Brazil's perm lotion is another one there.
So glow.
So glow. 150k to Hanlon Hill, the rich and varied tapestry of Hibernian FC. That's quite a sensible one to put in. Mr. Miyagi's redressed the balance by saying the head of the person who described Pakajabi as the Gambian Roberto Carlos inside the ball for that abortive free kick.
I think that would be Pakajabi himself then. Surely nobody else referred to him as that.
Nobody else has done it. Or maybe Mrs.
The boss-eyed lion possibly for that.
Ryan said the bottle or whatever it was that put Michael Stewart on his arse in the new Douglas Park tunnel. Oh, yes. Mr. Miyagi said the list of the banned substances only the goalie demanded to see before he failed to appear for a random drug test whilst at Torquay. And we've got one which is, I don't know whether read this. It says Sam Nicholson's bird's pubes, but I'm not sure if that's appropriate for a classy podcast like this. Come on,
No.
people. Come on, people. Raise your game. Cum Dog's tin of beans, Duff Jimmy's bottle when he entered Lennon's technical area, Sean Dennis's dislocated finger, they're all from 150k in Hanlon Hill.
How many times has this boy tweeted in?
Hey, he's had some good ideas, so
Oh, he has. He's had some belters there.
150k tweets. Scott Allen, Hibs supporters, said the two statements released by Sevco on the 21st of May and the 22nd of May 2016 soaked with Jim Trainor's tears. We've got a few folk have mentioned the pole that Tam McManus danced around at Tannadice.
Oh, wow.
That would be a good memento to have, wouldn't it?
That would be, aye.
What was the story there? They'd been done at the Chicken Dippers, hadn't they? They'd all been caught in Edinburgh, and it was like the next game, and McManus celebrated his goal by doing a wee pole dance. Is that
spot on there? Yeah, I think you're spot on there.
If it wasn't, I'd like to think that's what happened.
Aye, why not? Team bonding.
Muzz has got Frank Sozzi's teeth from that header. Alternative Hibs has just got Brian Graham. I think he's still playing. I don't know if we'd have to transfer him in to the museum.
He did. He missed a penalty against Hearts.
He did.
A couple of weeks ago, did he not?
He did. It's just typical. Even after he's left, he's still annoying us.
He's still annoying us, aye. Although, that said, he did. I remember he scored an absolute perler of a header for Hibs. In fact, it was an even better cross for Jason Cummins.
Oh, aye.
I think we beat somebody 4-0 in the championship, I think.
Yeah. His was the last goal of the game, I think, wasn't it?
Aye. To be fair, I was right behind Cummins' cross, and it was just, brilliant ball, brilliant header. And then
Cummins put it right on his head. I mean, literally right on his head. It was a great cross.
And then after that, Brian Graham turned into Brian Graham again.
Aye. That was his moment of magic.
Aye.
Kunster's got Craig Levine's hand crumpled, glasses chucked at the wall, then stood on in the away dressing room after the Natural Order derby. Mr. Miyagi Rod Petrie's moustache grooming kit. Petrie or Petrie?
Petrie.
Petrie.
Or God, for short.
Or God.
That's a controversial one, I know, but I like Petrie. Always have, always will.
Aidan says Neil Lennon's blood pressure tablets. I never opened mint condition he's put. Scott Allen, Hibs supporters, he said the whiteboard that Petrie allegedly brought out to take notes when hearing the players at his house moaning about Collins.
Petrie wouldn't have a whiteboard. Petrie would have an easel.
or a big, like an old-fashioned blackboard.
Aye, brought out by exquisite young boys. Servants named Tarquin. Whiteboard. Jesus.
At worst, it would have been a flip chart.
No, he's too... I bet Petrie's got tweed pyjamas. He's just that kind of guy. Well, that's how I imagine him. Maybe that's just
most
me.
Nights, aye, most nights. Mr. Miyagi said the atmosphere from the West Stand, that shouldn't take up too much room. Aye, that's in the West Stand. That's no fair. The dummy Mikey Stewart spat out in the weeks and months leading up to the 2007 CIS Cup final. Chrissy Hogg's long-worn forearm bandage. John Hughes' barber jacket. Zamama's mohawk and John Collins' six-pack cast in bronze. The unseen work Brian Kerr did. That'd be a good display. Here we go. I think we've got that already.
What do you think of that?
He's got the pigeons Alan O'Brien could chase, the places Billy Brown had seen and the things he'd done. It's like the angry display.
Oh, goodness me, I've just coughed up a lung.
The helicopter Jim Duffy arrived in, a bottle of Chateauneuf de Pip from one of our many wine bar investments. What else have we got? We've got a few more here. Right, last couple then. So we've got from Big Wheel on Hibs.net. He says, can we get the corner flag that Kajabi's free kick hit? That's a popular free kick, that one, for one that was so crap.
Aye, it's just one of those ones that burns right into your soul. It's once you see it, you're not forgetting that.
He's got Stokes' pocket that perhaps still has Tavernier from the cup final, and surely the stanchion from Tannadice from that Tam McManus celebration. 007 said the spirit level from when the pitch was first laid. Jim 44, the grains of sand that momentarily blinded the officials at Lee Griffith's spectacular disallowed goal in the 2013 derby. And then some Raj called pedantic Hibs said Simon Brown's weekly diet plan. You can't buy banter like that.
No, I think I must have been sober when I did that.
The last one, this is probably my favourite one of all, just for the sheer randomness of it. Sleeping Giant had Marvin Bartley's finger. And I'm guessing it's because of the picture where his finger was fairly inappropriately placed up somebody's hoop.
It was, I
can't remember if they were celebrating a goal or arguing, or he'd just been in for a tackle or something, but he definitely left a mark on the guy. I no doubt the guy left a mark on him.
Aye, oh Christ, wow. I mean, that's there's a way to noise up opponents, and I suppose that's one of them.
And that noise being whoo.
Ah. I'll give you 5 minutes to stop
that. We speaking of like, I don't know how to describe what we're talking about there. Arse-inflicted noises. Years ago, I was on a stag night, a stag weekend in Prague. I was best man for my mate Craig, and we were there, and we'd come out a nightclub, and the best way to describe it is we ended up in a fight with Bon Jovi and another guy who maybe looked like he'd been for Def Leppard. Wasn't the actual Bon Jovi, but he looked like him. And anyway, it was the most nonsense fight you could ever imagine. Total handbags thing. Nobody's getting hurt. Craig's rolling about the ground with this other guy. Craig's brother's rolling about with Bon Jovi. And then Craig's future brother-in-law just wandered over and just very, very accurately kicked Bon Jovi up the arse. And I must have caught him right in the hole, because he went woo like this, and it just buckled everybody. And it was the end of the fight, like in an instant. As everybody apart from Bon Jovi, obviously, are rolling about laughing. There you go. I wasn't expecting to tell that story tonight, but there we have it.
No.
Thanks, Marv Bartley's finger. That's his fault.
Wow.
Yeah. Right, that brings us nicely, I don't know if that's the right word, on to Snack of the Week, where we can pretty much start to round up. So what's been tickling your taste buds this week, Brian?
Well, the obvious one there to carry on the link is a chocolate finger, but I'm not going to go for that. This week, what am I going to... What have I been eating this week? To be fair, the diet's went out the window this week. Not that I'm on a diet, but I've been trying to eat healthy and live healthy and drink lots of water and get up in the morning and, do all the things a good person should do. And I've done none of that.
Sucks.
This week, snacks, I am going to go for... Actually, this is quite boring, but the snack I've ate the most this week would be ready salted Walkers. And I go through phases where I can't get enough of them. As in, at least a packet a day anyway. It's no an outrageous shout, that one, but I'm going to go for ready salted Walkers.
Well, I had today, so I've got 3 kids, one of which is still at primary school, so still gets a packed lunch, and I'd bought her one of these Dairy Lunchables.
Oh, yes.
Came with the wee crackers, wee slices, tiny wee slices of cheese that are just the right size for the crackers, and chocolate buttons. Dairy Milk chocolate buttons. And I had
fine dining.
She says, I didn't like them. And I thought, well, screw you, I'm having it then. So I took it to my work for my packed lunch today. And it was decent. So I'm nominating that for snack of the week.
Did your workmates see you with that as a lunch?
Aye, 2 comments. One was, is that your kids? Another one was, that looks decent. So
there you go.
I'm taking that as a win.
Absolutely.
Aye. It was better than I had also a packet of beef hula hoops, and the woman that sits next to me, Claire, she just says, crunchy crisps today, are they? It's obviously the noise that I was making eating them. They call me Shergar for the rest of the day, so that was nice. Noise eating, that'll make me feel paranoid.
Absolutely, aye. That's just what you want to hear when you're having your lunch, isn't it?
Aye, so I'm going to put the Daily forward as the winner for that one.
That's a very good shout. Very good shout.
Although a packet of plain crisps is good. Right, we will wrap up there. Everybody, if you let us know if you've listened to the bonus episode and if you enjoyed it, especially let us know. Follow us on Twitter at Longbangers. We are also now on Instagram as well, and it's Longbangers_podcast because some vag somewhere has already got the Longbangers name. So Longbangers_podcast. And we're on Facebook as longbangers.com. You can email us at longbangers@gmail.com. And we usually have a thread on hibs.net for folk to contribute on as well. If you'd like to do that, it's always nice to see that to get bumped up the front page. We will be back again on Tuesday, I think, Brian.
Yes, it's a date. Let's do it. We'll do Tuesday again. Hopefully with a more upbeat podcast than Tuesday's one. Hopefully as upbeat as tonight's one's been. That'd be great.
That would a nice Hibs win tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to make it through. Josh is kind of hinting that he's wanting to go through, so that's normally a good sign for going. But I think Jane might have other ideas. So we'll either watch it live or it's on BBC Alba as well if anybody's not going to make it to the game and wants to see what's happening. And hopefully it's a Hibs win.
What time's it on Alba?
6 o'clock, I think.
Oh,
well, here's the thing. Watch that and we can pick our best Gaelic phrases to use on Tuesday.
Well, I'm going to be in the air at that time.
Are you?
I'm up at 4. I'm flying my son down back down to Southampton at 7 in the morning. And then, ridiculously, I'll be spending 9 hours in Southampton Airport, which is tiny, waiting for my return flight at the back of 5. So if anyone's seen The Terminal with Tom Hanks in it, that is who I'm going to be tomorrow. Just walking around an airport.
I'll pick out the best Gaelic phrases then and try to remember them and incorporate them in some way into Tuesday's podcast. Not that I speak any Gaelic, but I can record it and just repeat it.
There's an impersonation I cannot wait for. You impersonating the Gaelic commentator.
I can imagine that would be probably the most offensive one yet.
I can Lewis Stevenson.
Right, let's call it a night there, Brian. Thanks everybody for listening. I hope you all enjoy the game tomorrow. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. If you like the bonus ones, we are probably open to doing some more of them further down the line. So long as people listen, then we'll do them. Thanks very much for your time tonight, folks, and thank you, Brian, for your time.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.